So there's the sanding on the top coat, and now you can see all of the nonsense that has happened to this table. It is pretty bad. And this is the sander I'm using. I want to put a new sanding pad on and go over this one more time. I'm not removing very much. I just want to get enough of a surface to grip the new resin that's going to go on there. I'm going to have to hand sand all of these all over the table. I'm going to have to hand sand all of it to get in there. So I got that to do today. But just so you know that I'm doing this right, I've got a heater under there to temp out. Make sure the tabletop is warm and not cold. Then I have 1 quart buckets like that I put part A in one quart, part B in another 1 quart. I make sure they're absolutely perfect. And then I add the part B to the 1A, and I add it into a 2.5 quart. And then I mix it for 6 minutes. After 6 minutes, I transfer that into another 2 quart, which is what they say to do. I get a new stick and I mix it some more for 6 minutes. And then I go ahead and from there, I pour it, I spread it, and I let it level off. I hit it with the torch to get the bubbles out, and I just kind of do this number. I don't, hover over it. Usually the bubbles pop right away, but as you can tell, some of them don't want to go anywhere. So, but for the most part, the most 99% of the bubbles came out. But as you can see, this isn't a bubble problem. This is something else. And I think what's going on is there's just a lot of surface tension in this resin. And so that's what it's doing. The room is, let's see here. So yeah, the room is pretty consistent in the temperature here. So it's not cold in here. So that's the process. And I mean, I gotta tell you, I've never gone through such detail using these resins before. And I don't know what to say about this. So I'm going to go ahead later today, after I get all this sanded, I'm going to go ahead and pour one final pour, get the bubbles out, and then what I'm going to do is just going to leave it, let it harden. I'm sure it's going to do this again. Once it's hardened, I'm going to give it like 3 days to get really good and hard. Then I'm going to go ahead and go over it with the sander, and I'm going to bring it down until all of this is gone and I have, a nice, smooth, level surface. Once I have that, then I'm going to hit it with the buffer and the buffing compound, and I'm just going to buff it out, get it back to a gloss, and then that should solve the problem. If there's any bubbles that come up, I'll go ahead and I've got some micro drill bits that are like, the size of 3 or 4 hairs. They're really tiny. I'll go ahead and pop those air bubbles. I'll fill it in with CA glue before I buff the top. That'll take care of that. But I have a feeling that those bubbles will disappear as well, because the bubbles are only going to go as far as this layer. They're not going to go below it. And although I don't plan on hitting this layer, whatever bubbles I hit is what I'm trying to say. They're not going to be that deep. So if there's a deep one, the CA glue will take care of it. And you know, you can polish the CA glue. It'll polish and come out to a nice glossy shine. In fact, there's guitar makers. They make some of the best sounding acoustic guitars. People are using the luthiers are using the CA glue to gloss the guitar, and they buff it out and polish it, and it's got a light glass shine. And from what I understand, it adds a sound that is unbeatable. So I'm pretty impressed. So there it is in all its misery. So I will make a short video tomorrow after the resin is dried, so you can see what it's done. And I will bring a flashlight down so I can shine sideways into it and hopefully get a good idea of what's in store for me. But anyway, there it is. This is the last time. This will be the 4th coat going on here. And in the meantime, have a good Thanksgiving. Stay off the roads. Drunk drivers don't care. They're going to do what they do.